Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Better Health Education Series. Today we have Surendra in person. Welcome, Surendra.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you very much.
Wow. Surendra have been a friend for actually almost, I don't know how many years, at least 5 years. And one of the things that really struck me that's quite different about Surendra is that I have worked with many, many successful directors, very powerful people from private sector, from public sector, and they're usually a combination of smart and kind or smart and powerful. The smart, powerful, and kind combination always is very difficult to come across. And when I met Surendra, I was like really struck by how balanced Surendra is in his ability to perform the highly demanding job and his ability to be kind and compassionate to everybody he worked with, as well as his friends. So, Surendra, tell us what happened in your behavior or in your upbringing that so make you so unique or one of the few people that can handle power well and not that they get into not get into the way of doing good things. So could you share a little bit of your experience of this really compassion intelligent leadership style that you have?
Okay, to answer this, I have to tell you a little story about myself. So, growing up, I was with my grandparents who were very on the spiritual side. And some of the things that you learn from these kind of mentors is that we are from birth to death, we are on a journey. And in this journey, what we have with us is our mind, is our body, and our soul. So the ancient wisdom says that we need to keep a balance between these three. So how do we harmonize the three and keep a balance? So once we learn to do that, then you begin to gradually conquer the emotions that we have.
Conquer the emotions.
Conquer or calm the emotions and be able to stand back from the current, whatever we're engaged with, and have a different perspective, a longer macro term perspective. And when we have that, then that balance comes because you have that inner peace and you are not disturbed by the daily fluctuations of people getting upset, people having greed or fear. And when you achieve that balance, then you know how to deal with life better. That's what I feel. That's what we struggle to do. That's what we need to do to achieve that balance. So balance and harmony between the mind, the body, and the soul, I think it would be key, and we need to keep learning more.
So if I understand you correctly, it's because your upbringing had always emphasized the balance between body, mind, and soul. And because that had always been approached in being a spirit being with a human life, and then you had always put things into perspective. And with that balance, nothing in the outside world that really disturb you because you're the solid foundation of the balance. So that sounds intellectually understandable, but how do you apply in daily life? Like if you talk about people in the mountain cave to achieve that, even that is difficult. But in the day to day, when you have demanding clients or bosses or colleagues that making lots of high pressure demand, not always behaving in ways that are supportive and nurturing. How do you, because you work in the UN for over 30 years and some really challenging posts around the world, in Africa, in New York, in Japan, and in Asia. how do you, with all these different cultures, with all these different people coming together, you have met lots of really interesting, smart people. But how do you work with them and still not be affected by their overpowering influence? And how do you stay grounded in your approach when you are working the 40, 60-hour weeks? You know, how do you maintain that? Easily said, difficult to do.
Yeah, again, some background. So the base of all living things is energy. And we, as you've mentioned, we are a spiritual being having a human experience.
Mhm,
In this human experience, it is all about energy. So
mhm,
we have 53 trillion cells in our body, and each cell's sole purpose is to produce energy.
mhm,
So, so it's energy. Everything is energy. And when we give a thought, that requires energy. So the neurons in your brain have to connect.
mhm,
That's energy. So your thought is either a positive one
mhm.
towards have joy and happiness, or a negative ones towards stress, towards anger, towards
Worry.
vengeance. So both these have a effect in your body. So if you have a negative thought, then stress takes over, and all the cells in your body are worried.
Yes.
And when the cells are worried, they are not at ease.
Mhm,
Allopathy calls it disease, meaning the cell is not at ease.
mhm.
So basically, it is lacking the energy.
Yes.
So if you know all this from our ancient wisdom, then when you're sitting in a table for meetings, when our colleagues don't agree with you, or when they have an opinion, you take a different point of view. So you don't, if your energy was dollars, you don't walk around the street throwing your dollars around. So you learn to conserve the energy, not to turn it to negativity, which affects negatively to your body, but to be able to stand back and before spending any energy
Mhm,
responding to those
mhm,
emotions of colleagues, you sit back, listen to them, listen and understand why they have such an opinion from
mhm,
their point of view. And once we can reason that out, do the critical thinking, then your response is not anger, is not shouting, is more understanding, more listening, and less trying to listen to your own voice.
mm.
So the people who do not have that control are addicted to listening to themselves.
Yes.
So rather than that, one can listen, do the critical thinking, and respond positively. How that can be addressed? What is the root cause? And so not treating the symptoms but the root cause. So this helps in the process when we interact with colleagues in the meeting or in a debate or so I would say that's the best way for me to understand, again, going back to my grandfather and
Yeah.
what we learned, is that the baseline of our existence in this human form and every other living thing and every other processes, like an economy of a country, no energy, no economy.
Yeah.
So at the current time, we're using fossil fuels, but then it's energy. So same thing in our body.
Mm.
If we learn to conserve the energy for our healing, for our well-being,
Mhm.
rather than have negative thoughts
Yeah.
and expend that energy and have less for our healing ourselves. So if we understand that, then we won't go around throwing this energy into
Yeah.
negativity.
So
So
if
that
I
understanding is,
so if I understand you correctly, in summary, you're saying that because we are this spiritual body with a lot of energies, so we in the spirit of conserving the energy that we have for good use. We stay curious to where people are coming from, and we stay objective and analyze what they say critically and analyze our own response critically. So when we do respond to criticism or respond to adversaries condition, we are expressing our energy in an appropriate level. So we're not leaking energy or sipping our energy unnecessary. We're not getting angry or sad for inappropriate scale. So that way, that's my understanding. In a way, you are using a very systematic approach to conserve your energy, and that energy go back into healing, self healing, and self preservation, and all that. Is that more or less a summary?
Or another example, if we kick a dog, the dog will turn around and bark or bite you. Now, we would like to think we have more intellect than a dog. So, are we using our brains before we speak, or before we act, or before we use other instruments? Because somebody said something or did something.
Yeah.
So, if we use that analogy, the dog will not wait another 5 years and wait to bite you and take revenge, but humans do. And that requires energy. So when you get upset with somebody, or when you say something not so nice to somebody, you don't change that somebody. When you point a finger, there are four fingers pointing back at you.
Yes.
So all this is harming oneself
Yes.
than the person you're trying to address to.
Yeah.
So why not conserve the energy, listen more, understand their perspective, and only speak and act. So thinking, speaking, acting in that order.
Yes. Yes.
Only when needed.
Yes. So in a way, not only think before you speak, but you watch what you think. So it's another step before you think. You watch your thinking. Yeah, that's good. So you have been semi-retired for a number of years now, and based on my observation, as a woman, you seem to be getting younger. Like, what is going on here? And you were telling me about the amazing thing you have been doing with your eye. You're no longer needing glasses. Like, whatever you're doing is working. So could you share some of your best practice that you think most people could look into and even consider the possibility, as all of us are getting older and we want to be healthy?
Okay, I think now in that mind, body, soul concept, we're talking about the body.
Yeah.
Right. So again, ancient wisdom says chronological age is time. We don't control the time, so your age progresses as it should. But the biological age you have total control of, right? We are an energy being. So every cell in our body is producing energy. That surplus of energy inside the 50 trillion cells are collaborating, cooperating together to get that energy flowing and the body systems working. So if we understand that, then we understand that biologically we can get younger, while chronologically we are getting older with time, aging. So the body, the chronological age can be 60 or 70. Biologically, our systems inside can reduce in age. So if I look at my heart, I can say after measuring all the parameters with a cardiologist, if I ask him to compare, but the last time we did it, he will say that is like a heart of a 40-year-old. So if there is sufficient energy, the ancient wisdom says that our body heals itself. So in that healing process, if we conserve the energy for our healing, then biologically we can reduce the
Yes.
age. So all the organs can slowly improve. Yeah, my eyes is an example. 5.8, 5.6. Now I don't wear any glasses. Right?
And
So
no, and is I'm still a shock, and I'm going to practice what you show me on the eye exercise. Yes.
so every cell in our body has a timetable gets replaced. So the eyes is 24 hour, our guts is 1 week, our heart is 1 month. So the body, each single day, out of the 50 trillion cells, there are 10 million that dies and gets replaced. Now, if we don't have enough energy, and the energy is coming from oxygen, water, so oxygen we breathe, and there are techniques to take
Yeah.
60 to 80% more oxygen
Yes.
that
The yoga
intake.
breathing. Yes.
Then there's the water. 72% of our body is water, just like our planet Earth. And if we look at the universe, so these numbers are the same. So an adult would need at least 2 liters of water every day. And we are 72% water. So then the third one is the nutrients. So there are key chemicals in the nutrients that we need. So they say you are what you eat.
Yes.
So if you are selective in what you eat, and remember, your brain takes about 20 to 30% of your total energy. So if your thought process is going continuously, that energy is being consumed.
Yes.
If you have a full stomach, it takes 70% of your body energy to digest.
Yes. Just never take meal before bed.
Yeah. So the if you look at the course of the time that we have, 24 hours divided into 8 hours rest, sleep, 8 hours work or whatever professional side you do, and 8 hours for yourself. So in that 8 hours of for yourself, one of the things is eating. So mankind can survive with one meal or less a day.
Yeah.
So if we are eating to live, then less is better. So morning breakfast, a small breakfast but healthy breakfast, fruits, yogurts, things, berries and things, a full meal lunchtime, and evening just a very light meal, so that you have good sleep. And while you are sleeping, the deep sleep is important.
Yes.
To repair the body.
Yes.
So the body can repair itself. So I can say, we're a witness here, that I have not taken medicine, I haven't been to a doctor. So it is possible. So these are all things you learn through in your life, and that's the wisdom that's passed on, which we need to practice every day.
I think one of the Indian Nepali tradition that I really enjoy is that the cook, the intention of the cook when they prepare food is always come from a loving place. Like I know a lot of Indian, they would not eat at restaurants because they don't trust the intention of the chef. They may be having an argument before they cook, or maybe they just read something in the newspaper that was disturbing, and when they cook, that energy pass into the food. A lot of people will only eat at home or eat at temples because they are prepared by people with intentions when they cook. So the cooking preparations, not just the quality food, but the intention, the energy transferring is very good.
Yeah,
and I would say you have a very dedicated cook for most of your life to keep you healthy, Surendra.
Yeah, that's part of the. But let me add to the cooking. Right? So all vegetables, fruits, nuts takes only 3 hours to digest to get the energy. So in the cooking, that again the ancient wisdom says that the cook is important. Yes, the intention is important. That gives the energy level is passed on from the cook to the food. And most traditional houses in India, Nepal, in that tradition, will not eat anything from the fridge.
Yes.
So you cook, you eat within 3 hours.
Yes.
Because it preserves the energy.
Prana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the pranic energy that is absorbed by the
Yeah.
plants,
Yeah.
the fruits, the nuts
Yeah.
from the sun.
Yes.
After cooking is for 3 hours.
Yeah.
After that, no fridge.
Yes.
No canned stuff.
Yeah. In the ashrams where we always cook extras, you never know, right? And then as soon as the people, the students finish eating, they would take the leftover food to the neighbor to see anybody wanted extra something from the ashram. They never leave anything because it is just, it's not healthy enough. It's not thriving. It would be they call it the dead food, food without any
Yeah, the
life.
energy has.
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
So we eat to gain energy,
Yes.
bioenergy.
Yes.
So if the energy is not there anymore,
Yeah.
we may satisfy our taste buds and our stomach may be full, but the body cannot extract the
Yes.
energy out of it. So
Yes.
that that is the cause to
Yeah.
obesity and the fast food
Yes,
chain
yeah,
and so on
yeah.
and so forth.
But yeah, I totally agree. I'm glad we talk about this importance of the how we cook and how we eat the food. Thank you so much. Thank you for your continuous support to give us to share your knowledge. So we will share Surendra's link down below, and then we have the Better Health Physical Body Mind Connection link down below as well. Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Surendra.